Yo, it's your boy Mr. Box Office from Mr. Box Office TV, back with another video. And in this video, I want to speak about the player that has a lot of criticism in the last season or so when he came from Nottingham Forest, and now had 2-2 recently against Coventry and now against Brentford. I'm talking about Brennan Johnson, our right winger. And the reason why I want to speak about Brennan Johnson is because I was at the stadium yesterday and he got a lot of plaudits. He got a lot of fans saying, well done, he did well. But I'm going to say right now, and this might not ruffle a few feathers, but you know Mr. Box Office, the ratings killer, I'm very direct to the point and I don't care anymore because I want my club to do better and do the best they can, and that's it. I don't think it's good enough. And the reason why I say that is I feel like I've been shortchanged. Because when I watch Brennan Johnson, yes, the goal he scored yesterday was very, very good. When he taken on Collins and he went down into the box, got a very taken on his man and went into the box and then placed his shot in the right corner. It was a very good goal. But rest of the game after that, you would think after that sort of goal, you gain confidence and try and even more hit your your advantage. You've got the better of your man now, so you should go for it. But it was kind of very, very disappointing. It just looked like a guy, for me, that hasn't grown into a man. Grown into a man that knows what he's all about. And that's it for me. When I look at someone like, and I'm going to compare him to when I look at Bournemouth wingers, like Semenya and Lewis Sinister, I look at those players and I look at players that have got the quality, the nous, they scare their opposition. Because they were very unlucky against Liverpool yesterday with their goal yesterday. And you can see the quality that they have. They take on their man, they go around it. They look assured what they're going to do when they get into the final third. And when I look at Johnson, I don't feel that he knows what he wants to do in the final third. I think that's for a lot of the Tottenham strikers at the moment. I don't actually forwards at the moment. And it's not just on him. I look at the coaches because I'm looking at the Bournemouth manager and I sit there and think, what is he doing with the players? And looking at Postecoglou, and I've just heard a little bit of Alistair Gold, and he's saying that Postecoglou was really happy with that performance. Yes, I can understand that. But for me, when I'm going back onto Johnson, I look at it and think, I just need a little bit more. I don't think that's good enough for us to be competing to close that gap to the top. And the top is Man City, top is Arsenal at the moment. So this is why I really do feel that, because I look at Antonio Semenyo and I look at Lewis Sinister, and those two players, for me, I question the scouting of our players, because I look at those two players, they are 100 times better than Brennan Johnson, Timo Werner. And the way that Tottenham fans were celebrating him yesterday, and yes, it was an encouragement, but unfortunately, it's a hard thing. Now, let's take all the over-the-top abuse, the personal abuse. I am not going on about that. I don't think we need to tell people that that's wrong. Now, if I'm telling people they're wrong, that's their problem. I can't. That's wrong. Okay, that's not. I'm just looking at it from not being just taking my Spurs hat off and looking at it and think, is this player going to be the difference to us getting over that line in a trophy? Because we've got Europe this week. is this player going to be the difference to getting us top 4 or doing better, closing that gap? And on the evidence of what I've seen now, I don't think it is. But when I look at Semenya, and Sinistera, I look at those players and I think, yeah, I want a bit of that. I need a bit of that. Because those wingers look better. Clivett looks better. They look assured in the final third. They look, no, even if they miss, they think, well, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to shoot, score, do this, do that. And I don't see that with our wingers at the moment, especially with Johnson. Yes, he scored, and maybe it's a little bit of a purple patch. We have to see long term whether this will be his where it goes. And another thing as well I need to bring up as well. We're questioning Johnson, yes, but other players are getting questioned as well. And fans don't take much of an issue about it either. Rashford is getting questioned because he's been up and down, and he's had a more longer vein of form than Johnson has. The best example is with Arsenal, Martinelli. Martinelli had a very good season a couple of seasons ago, but he's been off the ball the last couple of seasons. Even now this season, that people are questioning him at the moment. But Martinelli was one of the hot prospects. He was looked as someone who's going to go to the next level. Barcelona, Real Madrid, all the top teams are looking at him. But now, Trossard's now looking at the guy, the main guy for Arsenal now, in their flanks. So I don't think it's wrong that we're looking at him, looking at Brennan Johnson and expecting a little bit more if we want to close that gap. Because at the end of the day, we're looking at the football side of us trying to close that gap. If Ange Postecoglou wants to compete for the title, he says, these players have to become better. And I do look at the manager, because Iraola, for Bournemouth, seems to be getting the best out of the players that he's got at Bournemouth. But when I look at Tottenham, yes, they play great football, but I don't feel that fluency a lot of the time. Yes, we did well yesterday, but a lot of the plays that we were making were because of Brentford mistakes in defence, because of where we were pressing. And even Bournemouth press, but they've got a little bit more quality in that final third to get over the line. And that's it. And they've been very, very unlucky. I feel that they've been more unlucky than Tottenham have. Because I feel that Tottenham Hotspur, it's just because it's decision making. And that's it. And that's all I need to say, because I know what quality is all about. I've seen the likes of David Ginola, Gareth Bale, Modric, Dembele, Defoe, Robbie Keane. And I'm just not convinced. And when you see the way that Solanke was playing at Bournemouth, when he had those wingers, he knew when the ball was coming. And you could see when the wingers were coming in, like Solitaire and Semenya and Clivett, you could see people getting into the box. And you don't see that with Tottenham. The cross is not coming all the time. You can even similarly say that about Brighton with the way they play. But you've got players that can get a cross in the box, in the final third. And that's why sometimes they do score good goals, because they've got that quality that can get that final pass in the box. But Tottenham don't seem to have it. That only happens in certain times. And the only player that I think who's got a great cross on him is our right back, who should be more up the field, Porro. So again, it goes back to the whole thing about adapting the players that we've got. And if Ange Postecoglou's happy with that, well, mate, that's not good enough. Because good teams will figure you out easily, and that's it. And I don't think I'm saying anything wrong here. Again, just to reiterate, I'm not condoning the abuse of Brennan Johnson. No. I'm going away from that. I'm going about the football side. Because at the end of the day, we're trying to figure out how we're going to close the gap to Man City at the moment. Because if you don't close that gap, as you've seen with Pochettino, when we're very close, teams catch up with you, and that's it. And then your Brennan Johnsons that we're feeling sorry for or apologising for, they're the problem, and that's it. Because like I said before, other teams don't accept it, like Arsenal with Martinelli, with Manchester United, like Rashford, they don't accept it. They just get another player in to compete with you, and that's it. And that's that's the lucky thing for Johnson. No one's competing with him as well for his place, and that's it. Another thing I'd like to add is I don't think that Brennan Johnson was any better has been any better than Lamela. And Lamela got a lot of flack himself. Another player as well that got a lot of criticism, Bergwijn. I think Bergwijn has done a lot more for Tottenham Hotspur, and he got shot off back to Holland. So I think the thing is, though, there is context to what I'm saying at the moment. I'm not saying that, like I said, I'm going away from the abuse side of things, because that's wrong. I'm going on what the football side of things. And if you look at the context, Brendan Johnson's no better than what we had before. Again, and if we want to close that gap, it shows. And the difference is with those players, I see a little bit more arrogance about those players. Bergwijn, Lamela, Dele Alli had a few good years as well. But look, we had a go at him as well, didn't we? And again, it goes back to what I say. Are those players going to close that gap? And if we want to close that gap, if we want Tottenham to be treated seriously, these players have got to lift up their level. Or you've got to get players to compete, because like we've seen right now, we've got the same team that we had last year, and Brennan Johnson's getting a free rein. And that's it. So, again, it goes back to what I say. Are we improving to close that gap? And the answer is it's easy. No, it's not. So this is why people are questioning what we are doing as a club. Not getting players to compete with Johnson. So Johnson's not sitting there thinking, oh, I can just keep on playing in the first team. No, you're going to be on the sub bench. You're going to be out the limelight, and then you've got to fight for your place and then be better. And that's what Martinelli's now thinking, because Martinelli's now out the team and Trossard has taken over his place. So now he's thinking, well, I've got to be better. And it again goes back to what I said before. Arrogance and swag. And that arrogance that I see from some of the Bournemouth wingers from Bournemouth have got, like Semenya and Solitaire. And even you see Trossard right now. And what I don't see with our forwards at the moment, like I said, we've got too many nice guys at our club. And the nice guys that we've got is great, because everyone likes them. But unfortunately, when it comes down to it, is it going to be the difference between us not winning a trophy or not? And it's quite easy. We're not going to win a trophy with those forwards. And that's it. And that's just reality. Truth hurts. Truth hurts. Coming from Mr. Box Office. And yeah, maybe you don't like me for saying this, but I can take my Spurs hat off and say, from what I've seen before, and it is what the past is, because you can only go what the past is, because that's what makes your future, this is not good enough. And if Postecoglou's loving that, I can't get behind this manager, and I never will get behind this manager if he's telling me that. It doesn't give me any vibes of winning. And he wants to win. Really? No. I need a Semenya. I need a Solistair. That's what I want. I want a Gareth Bell. I want a Modric. I want a Dembele. I want someone that's got assurance, composure in front of goal and do it every single week and say, nah, I'm doing it more. I'm going to show you. I'm going to show Mr. Box Office. I am the main event. I'm someone to look at. That's what I want to do because that's what top players do. John Barnes once said, he said, well, I'm getting abused. And I'm not going to get into the whole thing because we all know what that was all about. Yeah, and I'm going away from that. But he would just say, well, no, I'm going to show you. And he was a top player. He never deserved the abuse that he got. It was horrible. But he's shown it by showing that he's a great example of being a great player, and that's it. Great players come through because they show the people saying, well, you can have a go at me how much you want, but I've got the quality. I've got it all, and that's it. And that's all I need to say. I think I'm just kind of making it clear that if we want to compete with the big teams, we've got to look to be better. We can't be satisfied with just doing one thing or a couple of things right in a season. It's always about what you're going to do better to get up to there and close that gap. And that's it. Quick video from your boy, Mr. Box Office, the main event, the professional truth and entertainment, the ratings killer, the people's champion and everyone's guilty pleasure. And if you don't know, get to know. And that's it. Please keep liking and subscribing. And as always, if you didn't know, get to know. Support your boy, Mr. Box Office. Subscribe and like. And come on, you Spurs. And I'm out.